X is for crossover. Okay, bit of a cheat, but what else is there? In the last 20 years, cars in the UK have grown much bigger. It started with 4x4s blocking the road on the school run, and then everybody else got a bigger car in retaliation. I know, I've had 3, and I like them. Currently I have a Forester, and mainly it sits on the driveway. But 4x4 in a city is a bit of an overkill. How many of them ever get off the tarmac? Probably not many. So the much disparaged crossover emerged. It looks like a 4x4, but only has 2-wheel drive. It has taller suspension and ground clearance for the potholes. Potholes possibly caused by all those 4x4s. And is mechanically a lot simpler and crucially lighter. You can improve it in the winter, for instance, with appropriate tyres, and also there is grip control technology. Jeremy Clarkson, for instance, called the 2-wheel drive Citroën C3 Aircross the best off-roader he's ever driven. Mind you, he is an alcohol enthusiast, allegedly. Likewise, motorcycles, or at least adventure bikes, the best-selling motorcycles, have also grown. You need to be higher up to see over all those 4x4s after all, and you're helped by an upright seating position such as you'll find on the average ADV bike. But they've also grown in weight. Is all of this really necessary? So, maybe, in the way the crossover car lightened up, then maybe I think the 790 Adventure and others like the Tenere 700 etc. are a bit like a crossover version of a motorcycle. The 790 has 200mm suspension, enough to soak up the potholes. You sit higher up, but not too far, to see over the traffic. It has a bash plate for off-roading, but it's a bit flimsy. It comes with trail tyres, but these are 90% road. It's not as heavy as a GS, or as powerful as a Super Duke, but sits in that do-it-all sweet spot. After all, where I live, there's little choice but to cross cities and motorways to get to the good stuff. And once there, you can still take in the sights. Of course, it's easier than a car to change this bike into a more hardcore off-roader if you so choose. But for most of us, well, me anyway, this thing is a good balance between a fun road bike and an adequate trail bike. Jack of all trades, master of none maybe, but good enough in the UK for most days, and still light and powerful enough to enjoy on most terrains that you'll encounter over here. One thought. Are SUVs causing all these potholes? Or are councils choosing to leave all the potholes unfixed because they figure, well, everybody drives about in a crossover anyway?